Well, there you have it. We have a tropical depression. This is expected to become a typhoon, Typhoon Tino, making landfall in Visayas here on the 4th of November. So the video we made about a week ago that a lot of people said it was fake news, it was long-range guidance, and we explained that this potential was very much there from the 4th to the 5th is coming to pass here now. And you only got about 2 days at this point before this comes on shore. Making this on the evening of the 1st, and we're going to be looking at landfall the morning of the 4th, probably just prior to sunrise there in Late Day or Samar. There is kind of a little range, so you want to make sure you pay close attention to that forecast here. But places like Tacloban are going to be impacted here, and then even marching over towards Cebu with typhoon strength winds. Now, likely will not be the catastrophe level of Yolanda or Odette or anything like that, but we're still going to be having some pretty decent impacts here. And this is, for example, the GFS zoomed right in just prior to landfall. This is showing actually the evening of the 3rd, and then we go ahead to the morning of the 4th, coming on shore there into southeastern area Samar. Both of these models a little bit further north than what Bagasa shows, but if you take a look at JTWC, I kind of would be more inclined to see what they're saying. This passes it right over Tacloban and just towards the north of Cebu. And in this particular track, this would actually put Cebu out of the worst of the weather. I do want to note that the worst is by far going to be on the right front quadrant, the northern side of this storm. So places like Siargao in this event probably wouldn't get much, if of anything, but Legazpi would be getting it a lot, and so would the eastern coastlines here. So let's get into this very serious storm system that we're talking about here. And this is actually the Google DeepMind, which has been very good on track, and it's somewhat intensity. It still has a ways to go with intensity, but this is actually showing a Cat 3. Some of the ensemble is even stronger towards a 4 or a 5, and in that scenario, we would be talking about a very serious, severe storm system here. And see this passing right over Tacloban. This would be in the well, I guess it would be closer to the evening of the 3rd right at this point, and then coming on shore by early morning on the 4th. So we're talking about Monday over towards Tuesday. This would be right around Tuesday at about 4 a.m. as a Cat 3 right near Tacloban. That would be a very bad scenario. So I want to stress at this point, for everybody watching this, and thank you so much for paying attention to these updates. And if you are somebody who's regularly been watching these videos, you will know at this point, we've been talking about this for a while, that this storm was coming. But if you know anybody in your area that still believes it's not there, this is going to spin up pretty quickly, and I believe that Philippine Sea effect really is going to kind of take hold on this one and allow it to rapidly intensify. See a lot of convection in it. You got good outflow off towards the north. It's been picking up all this moisture coming in from the south, moving over sea surface temperatures about 31 to 32 degrees. These are all ingredients for a catalyst for a rapidly developing storm system. Let's take a look at some of the models. Let's time this out here for you once again, and there's that landfall. This was Tuesday, showing Tuesday right around 4 to 5 a.m. there in Samar or Late Day. All these guidances are a little bit further towards the north than what, once again, Pagasa is showing. But once again, don't just focus on the center line. It's going to change. And also look well towards the north. I mean, all of these gradient-induced winds. So even if you're well outside that center, I think the Bicol area really is going to be impacted. Then it passes just north of Cebu and then kind of cruises off towards the west, where it is going to get wrapped up with the northeast monsoon and really impact, or really increase those winds, I should say, with that monsoon for Vietnam. We'll come back to that. All right, so here's more of a closer view. Today, by the way, our friends in Yap getting some pretty decent messy weather, but then you can see with the ECMWF, winds already picking up by Monday night, so by Monday evening, already getting 40, 50 kilometer per hour winds along the coast, and then you can see it just passes overhead, and that's when you get kind of the real big kind of gusty conditions by Tuesday morning along the coast. But then this even passes further towards the east. And let's put this over, actually look at that right in there. There's some spots. Yeah, it's getting up there, 70, 80. This is well inland. And Cebu even seeing 40 to 50, 60 kilometer per hour winds there. That's sustained, by the way, not even the gusts being picked up there by the model. So Cebu, Tacloban, really just that stretch right like that should be, I say, preparing for typhoon conditions. That's enough to cause some damage. I know today's a holiday out there, but you're probably going to pick all of that stuff up after the fact. And then, you were talking about the northeast monsoon. So you can see all of this rain piling up along the eastern seaboard because of that interaction with the Amihan, creating that chance of some flooding all up and down the east coast. So it may not be impacting places like northern Luzon, but there's going to be that interaction with the northeast monsoon. So late day in Samar, likely landfall here. Tacloban right smack in the middle of it. I know, but yeah. Now a named storm, Tino. It's not named by JMA, but I expect them to come around. They're usually a little bit more conservative in putting it out, which is why I don't really ever show them, by the way. JMA, I worked with them for a while, but I think Pagasa usually has a good hand up on them. Monday PM to Tuesday AM landfall here, and another storm potentially behind it, by the way. And yeah, there's the chance of another storm behind this. Taking a look at the forecast for Tacloban, though, Monday night, rain picks up late. Storms late, tropical storm conditions working their way in overnight with AM typhoon strength winds there on Tuesday. Some gusty conditions. I mean, goodness. And by typhoon strengths, I'm saying 120 kilometer per hour, at least gust. Cebu, Monday and Tuesday, the rain's already kicking in, but your worst of it's going to be on Tuesday as this passes directly overhead for Cebu. That's why the temperatures are down a little bit, but that's also because, and you can actually see how much rain is just based on the temperature trend, 29 versus 30 and 31, because the chief regulator of temperature, of course, in this part of the tropics is going to be cloud cover. And if it's just continued cloudy and rainy all day, you're not warming up. All right. So know your information through official sources. Say this in every update, but I'm not an official source. I appreciate you guys' support with these updates and everything. If you want to support the channel, there's plenty of ways to do it, by the way. But make sure you check Pagasa or your local evac, your local authorities. Other people are going to know those exact impacts in your neighborhood. I, unfortunately, will not be able to give you that. Prepare to evacuate if needed, if you're ordered by those people. And check your emergency go kit. You haven't been hit yet this season in that part of the Philippines. By at least a big storm, so make sure you're set and ready to go. Have your important documents in a safe spot. Sometimes just putting them in plastic bags and keeping them in a safe area, it goes a long way to just making sure you're good to go. All right, things like passports or birth certificates, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so here's a look at our flyover here, and yeah, at least Sunday is the day to prep. And then you can see back towards the north, we already seen the Amihan for northern areas of the Philippines and increasing showers out across those spots already, just because of that northeast monsoon. So once again, friends, I am meteorologist Robert Speta. If you have any questions, I would like to hear from you. Number one thing, though, of course, as always, okay, is stay safe out there, all right? Thanks for watching, and I hope you find these videos useful. Let's make sure everybody is informed, smart. I mean, especially with a lot of misinformation going on about this. This is the storm in my 15 years of doing this. The most people have told me in the comments of a lot of these videos on socials that I was fake news, that I was not telling the truth. And I know I keep bringing it back up, and I know and ignore a lot of these people, but it's more of people don't bother me by saying that, but I am worried that there is a large group of people saying that, and there is a typhoon headed at them. I jokingly said, please take a video and go outside and scream at the sky when their storm is there. And it goes back to some really bad, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to knock Pagasa. I think they do a great job. But they did put out something that said, ignore the fake news viral post about a week ago when I was first talking about this in the long range. And now we are there. The storm has happened. And a lot of people are still referring to that post from several days ago. And I think that's it's really misled people. And as long as everybody gets informed and everything, it just feel like there's different lines of communication being held here, that people are getting two different stories, and it's hard to tell people, oh, never mind, that when we said it was fake, it actually is really a storm coming. So yeah, you got to be careful, and I think it's a communication thing that we all got to have to learn from. Anyways, I'm off of that. That's the last time I'm going to mention it. Let's talk about this storm, and this is serious threat. So Monday night into Tuesday morning, got to be ready for a typhoon out here in Visayas. As always, thanks for stopping by. Number one thing, of course, stay safe out there, friends, all right?